Hi all. So we're going to do the tutorial for last step. Like we really have to memorize this thing. Dynamesh, theory meshing, and exporting to Blender in order to rig with autorig Pro, which is an add-on that it's available on the folders. Okay. So here I have this character. Now notice like a couple of like kind of important things. This is a biped. It's in a T-pose. T-poses are important, and in the case of biped especially, and automatic rigging, and the hands are pointing downwards. Okay. If you have the hands pointing somewhere else, it might not work that well. If you're wondering how I did some parts, like I don't know, those wrinkles and stuff, I did those using the cloth move, that is C, and there's a cloth move option, which is not here, or maybe here, and I can see it, and I don't want to waste too much more time doing this, but in any case, it's a cloth deformer, which is not that one. Okay, I'll do move and move cloth. There should be a cloth mob. There is a cloth motion thing, and that makes this like fabric thing. I will add some more detail in this one, so you can see, like again, the workflow of the retopology thing. I will use the clay buildup, that is CB. And as you can see, I'm not using the keyboard. So that's my dino. It's kind of cute because it seems like it has some sort of like stitches, which is great. Stitches are good. Some other tools that you might be interested in using. There is the IMM brushes. If you type if you go into brushes and you type you have the option of you have all of the IMM brushes, which are brushes with sort of things that you could use along and that are a bit hard to model. So for instance, IMM machine parts, it's pretty cool. If I choose IMM machine parts here, I have some machine parts. I can also type M, and I have these things which are kind of great if you want to make this into like some sort of Terminator character. But it has multiple subdivision levels, so it won't allow me to do it. Anyway, this is the kind of mesh that you want. You want the mesh to have multiple subdivision levels. If you're using, like here, I will delete the lower so I can actually do the thing that I was showing you before, the different meshes. I deleted the subdivision levels, so now I can do, like, I don't know, add some nuts. Now I can pretend that those are eyes. It's kind of cute. Also, if I do BIMM, I have the zipper brushes, which are kind of great because I can do some zippers. As you can see there, it's kind of huge. So you might press S and make the brush smaller, and that way it's like a real zipper. I will make it a bit another zipper here. So these are really nice brushes, very useful. And so these are IMM brushes, so you can take a very simple mesh and make something very complex. The other reason why am I doing these IMM brushes is because they're a perfect example for the Dynamesh problem. There's even IMM Tune, which this one I've never used it before. Foods and things. Anyway, once you have IMM brushes, you just it also automasks, so you control drag outside, and that way you have all of your brushes there. Now, I'm going to make a copy of this one, And this copy is going to be, I'm going to leave the original, I'm going to keep this copy here, and this is the one that I'm going to, at first, since these are separate meshes, it's kind of hard to understand, but these are not actually like integrally part of the mesh. So the first thing that I will do in order to sort of bake them is to press Dynamesh again. I'm going to use a resolution of 512. And it's going to take a while, but now you see that they are actually baked in, which is good. And now I will click Dynamesh again, and I will do zero measure, and I will do a poly count of, let's say in this case, 10. So 10K should be enough. If I press this, and this is a procedure that sometimes just doesn't really work, and it takes a while. It worked, and now we have this like sort of low resolution version of the mesh. And this, I know that has been a bit hard to understand, but this is the polygon that we're going to export. Okay. Now I'm going to subdivide this by pressing Control or Command D, which is the same thing as pressing divide. And I have two tools, right? We had a copy. So if I make that original one visible, I'm going to rename this one. Here in rename, I'm going to say like Dino Low Poly. And I'm going to, in the same menu, there is an option that says project. This function will project the detail from whatever object is visible into this one that I subdivided. So I can press project all. And it says that there's poly paint, and we're going to say okay. And so far so good. This seems okay. I'm going to make this one invisible. I guess that we need to subdivide it a bit more. I'm going to subdivide it a couple more times, make this visible again, and project again. I'm going to make it invisible again, and it could be better, but it's not that bad. And the point is that I can now just delete this one. Don't get too many tools. And the point of this model, if I go into geometry tab here, is that this model has separate subdivision levels. So we are going to export this one. And in next class, we're going to see how to add the detail from this one. Okay. So, but this level is the one that we're exporting and rigging afterwards. So to export, we go into Z plugin. We select FBX export import. We make sure that we are only exporting the visible tools. And if you want to check options, that's okay, but we're not. And then we click export. And we put it into a folder, which is what I told you that like the way you should work from now on. So this one's gonna call like Dino Corporeal. And I'm gonna call it Dino. And this is good, it defaults to the name of the subtool, Dino Low Poly. And then I'm also going to go to subdivision level 4. And again, going to Z plugin, FBX import, export. But this one at level 4 is going to be called the Dino High Poly. We're not going to work on the high poly for now, but it's important that you start like doing the workflow correctly. Great. So now on to Blender. Okay, here we have Blender. And there is an add-on that is under Preferences. In order to add an add-on, we have the add-on on the folder of the file, of the classes, right? So you need to go into Edit, Preferences, then click on Install. And under classes, you're going to see in America Imaginaria that we have the unit 3 humans, which is completely wrong. We have the unit animated creature, and there we have autorig Pro. Okay, so that is the add-on that you need to download and include. So if you press that, it should default to it should show you this, but unchecked, and you will make sure that you're checking it. Great, so make sure that you check that. If you did that correctly, if you press the N key, which is the same as hitting on this arrow here, if I click N on no, you will see a bunch of tabs, and just look for the one that says, I know I have a lot of tabs, but look for the one that says ARP, which stands for autorig Pro. And now let's go into File, Import FBX, and let's import from the folder that we just made, the low poly, okay, not the high poly, so let's import the low poly version. And click on Import FBX, and now you have the weird dinosaur there. Okay, we have a couple of options here. You could either work using autorig Smart or using Remap. Smart is good, especially for like very conventional, highly conventional biped rigs. I'm not sure if this is a highly conventional one because it also has a tail. So I'm going to use an add armature approach. I will click human because this is not a dog. And that will create an armature, which might have a weird size. There you see the armature or rig. Please click on Edit Reference Bones, which will change the size of the armature. Now I will drag and select everything and press S to scale. And I will just push it up here and start changing the bone orientation. Notice that they are symmetrical. I will put the spine origin here. This is kind of like the hips. The arms are in a weird position. This creature has some strange, I guess, disposition. This is the clavicle. So the clavicle, you want it to be near the neck, which is there. I will put the arms here. And I will also look up here and make sure that the arms are in correct position. Let's do a Ninja Turtle approach here. I'm going to select all of this, press S, scale. What do you mean by the Ninja Turtle approach? It seems to have 3 fingers, but actually it's 2. Okay. Like we can imagine that it has a glove or something. And we make sure that the bones are inside the skeleton. I mean the body. What is that thing that I said in class last week? Inside the thingy. And there we go. There is to me, some weird satisfaction about putting the things, the bones in the right place. Rotating, the rotations in Blender are with the, by clicking and holding the middle mouse wheel. I will do the spine like this a bit. And good thing it's a dinosaur. Because I can just put the head like that. You can pretend that it's someone in a dinosaur costume, because that's what this is supposed to be. The clavicles, I will push them forward a bit. The thing about bones is that they define how the skeleton is deformed. And the legs, I will select them all, make them a bit larger, and put them here. Should I add a limb? There's this nice option here, and I can set, yeah, sure, add a tail. And that adds a tail, and I can press G to move it immediately, make it larger. And the tail, I will select the joint and move it like so. And that's like a pretty decent leg. Can I add another another thing? I could add another head or breast or ears or arm, but I think I will leave it like this for now. Great. So now we do match to rig. And that changed the way of the rig, and you will notice that like some of these options here, those are the rig, are now surrounding the skeleton of the character. Okay, so we have that now, and now we select the we go into object mode, which is object mode is here. We go into object mode, we select the character, we shift select the character, we shift select the rig. And we have a couple of options to rig this. The autorig Pro one is to go into the skin tab here and choose bind and scale fix. And if everything works correctly, now instead of being on object mode or edit mode, we can go into strike the pose mode. And if you click this, which is the hip, and you press G, if it's working correctly, you will see that the thing is sort of moving. Mine has some things that I think, no, I mean, for a dinosaur, this is perfect, actually. It's pretty good. Great. Can we rotate the head? My head is going to be a bit hard to find. But I think this is, if I press R to rotate, it's working fine. You can press the rotate option here and just start moving stuff. You can select that leg and move that leg around. Change some of the arc positions. And even like there, you can barely see a bit of the controller there. And this ball here is to move the elbow, which is very useful. These ones are to control the some other deformations, but overall, it's decent, right? You can even move the fingers. Some of the deformations might not be okay. Rigging is one of the hardest things in CG. But that's more or less the logic. And this bone there is supposed to be the head, so this might have this. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, it's nice. It moves around, sort of, almost okay. Certainly like it. Great. I really recommend using this function, the rotate one, though. It really makes a lot of stuff easier. Great. I don't want that. Oh, and the tail. Yeah, that's very important. If I click on the tail, I can deform part of the tail too. If you don't see the deformer, you can go into rig and edit shape and make some of the shapes larger by pressing the button here that makes everything transparent. So actually I'm going to make the head a bit larger. Go into edit mode, select these ones, edit mode, sorry, object mode, edit shape, and I'll put it at here. So that's the head controller now. On the tails, I have to go back into object mode and select the tails. Do match to rig and edit shape. It takes a while. I jump back into the preview there. So point is that I can go select the rig and choose pose mode, and I can now control the head with this like sort of crowny thingy. I had to try this a lot. Okay, so rotate. It's kind of cool. Great. So that is rigging number 1. I hope it was okay. I'm sorry if it's a bit of a hassle. I will show it how to try autorig now. I will do actually new general. Delete the cube by pressing X, importing the FBX of the dinosaur that we have on the desktop. So Dino Low Poly. And pressing N, we already installed Autorig Pro. So I go back here to Autorig Pro, and I will do Autorig Pro Smart. We'll select this. I will click on Get Selected Objects, Full Body, No Facial. And this will put it into a position. It's very important that you have the red line there. That means that it's facing Y. And I will click on Add Neck, and I will put the neck around here, but it should be like up, so I'll put it here. Add Chin, I will say that the chin is there. Add Shoulders, I know that shoulders are there. Add Wrists, there are my wrists. Add Spine Root, this should be the basis of the coccyx. Add Ankles, there. Fingers, 3 fingers. Spine count, I guess is okay. Neck count, I guess is okay. And we do go. Not a bad job for an automatic rig. The head looks a bit wonky. That's not where it should be, I think. It's sort of okay. I will put it here, actually. And just like before, once you do this, you press Match to Rig. I think that it might look better than my previous one. And just like before, you press the object, then you press Shift, then you click the rig, and then you go into Skin, and you press Bind. And if everything works nice, again, you do Pose Mode, and you try it. I think that in certain ways it sort of worked better, actually. Go figure, sometimes automatic stuff works well. And now you rotate, and yeah, this is nice. Nice, right? Yes. The shoulders you test, perfect, good. Pretty good rig. I can even check on the hand. I'm just moving the hand. It works certainly like pretty well. hand here is a bit visible. We're gonna have the character say hi. The hand like this. And the feet in a bit more of a more comfortable position. Sort of like this character. You might wonder, like, hey, but this one doesn't have a tail or whatever. You can still go into rig and add limbs, so you can still add a tail, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I just pressed add a tail, and I'm just gonna be very cautious about perhaps making the tail a bit larger. So that I have a bit more movement, so to speak. Match the rig. And now, great, I have a tail. I forgot to mention this. If you add stuff, it won't move unless you press A to select all, and you again go into skin and you bind it. Otherwise, you have the bone, but the bone has no relationship to the body. Post mode again, and we try it because it's very exciting, and yay, it works. Great. Happy. Happy dino. Good. Telling you to stop. Say no to dino drugs. Okay, so that's all for bipeds for now. If you want it to look cool though, you just press that button, viewport shading, and you see that icon there. You have to go into object mode, but that icon is a light then that you can put wherever you want. It's kind of cool to have more than one light. Or you can even put them in the field, in the open. So expand this, turn down world opacity, turn down blur, and now we have a dino on the road. Dino lizard on the road. Good. I hope this helps for this part. Please upload your rigged ZBrush character exported to Blender as a .blend file. That is file, save as. Oops, I have my work. Dino corporeal. Your name or last name. Your name. The name of the project. And you press save as. And in that folder, make sure you upload it to the class folder where I want you to be updating this. So this is America Imaginaria. This is technically still in the animated creature, which you already have a lot, so that's good. But upload it as a folder as we saw in class. Within this and this, within this folder, okay, the animated creature one. Ta-da! Red dino. Subsurface red. Oh, subsurface. Let's make it shinier. Metallic one. Wow. A copper dino says no. Oh. Till Tuesday.